Okay, money psychology, the best and most awful part of the workshop. Um, you know, the interesting thing is that when I have high net worth people, money psychology is not necessarily the most important thing. It's things like, how do I know if somebody loves me? Things that for us, seem relatively simple. But for them, it's a different. But I've learned through my own book, I wrote a book called The Money Formula, so you can get that online. It's very affordable and inaudible. It's like $5. And it's a money psychology, energy psychology protocol on how to get through to the limiting financial beliefs that you might have that are, odds are, we're programmed between 0 and 7 years old. Societal beliefs, family beliefs, and false assumptions about money, your ability to have it, deserve it, use it, and have more of it. And so I've learned through helping people make more money, because for me, it's the fun part. As a coach, you want to have measurable metrics of success. Does what I believe pay off? That's the question. Does what I believe pay off? And I remember having somebody call me before and say, well, I am somebody who works on my own, a very maverick, right? I work on my own and I do things my way and all this other stuff. And I remember saying to this person, well, you don't have any money to show for it. Your beliefs are not paying off for you. They're not working for you. So that's the point of which we get to this idea of like, well, what do I believe about money? What are my assumptions about money that form my behaviors towards it? So a lot of the times when you think the word money, so think the word money right now, just money. Odds are you feel a type of way. And then so when you feel a type of way, what happens is that you begin to have this slippery slope of thoughts that take you in a slippery slope of actions that create the results based on that feeling deep inside of you. And so the money formula in this protocol, it's 7 steps, 15 minutes or less. You know me, I'm a 15-minute girl. Is to try to get you to really take every word in your financial dictionary: mortgage, divorce, loan, student loan, credit card, debt, all these types of words, and really change your feeling, your emotional dictionary about money, to where when you think money, for me, it's endless. I just, when I think money, I think endless. I just don't think an end in sight. But there was a time when I felt money, I felt not enough. And so we want to change that financial dictionary and change how we feel about it, because money is love at the end of the day. It's the form and the essence of love. It has its practical uses. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we don't live for money. We don't live for money. But there are some people who consider that a metric of success. And when you have money as a metric of success, and when you don't have a lot of it, boy, oh boy, does our self-esteem match that account number. And that is silly. And it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you should feel like $1 million, no matter what. No matter what. You want to get to that point like Forrest Gump, where he's like, what does he say? You have more money than God? And he goes, oh, good, one less thing to worry about. I really want to get money to the point where it's something you don't really think about. And when you do, my God, you feel it. You feel it. For me, I've gotten to the point now, which is what I love about teaching other people how to become prosperous and to enjoy having money and not feeling guilty about having it, is that when I go to sleep, sometimes I can literally hear like coins go clink, 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 clink to my hand. And money is just going like this. And it's a fun feeling to have, that it's like no matter what. And I always tell my kids, I could never outspend myself. To say that, and I would tell my kids, let's try. But it really is not about having all this money and buying all these things and having the worldly things that people think you should have. But it's about having and doing and buying and acquiring and investing in the things that are important to you and that are meaningful. That's really what that is. And so when you think about money in terms of what is meaningful to you, and that everything you do is an investment, then it really is not so much about how much do I have, it's what am I doing with what I got? It's really that. What are you doing with what you got every day? And the surprising thing is that we really don't need as much as we think we need to accomplish our goals. And most of the time, you and I both know that you don't even need money to do what it is that you want to do to make a difference in this world. And all those resources exist inside of you. But money is one of those resources that exists inside of you. And it's time to push that out of your consciousness and into the 3D reality. So the question is always, Leslie, how? That's the magic question. And so I want to do an imaging exercise with you. This is how I do it all the time. I always do it this way, and it's quite simple. So I want you to close your eyes and relax, because the good thing about what we're going to do is there's really nothing at all, because you're going to do it naturally, intuitively, easily, and it just pops up right in front of your eyes. So all I want you to do now is you just relax and take a deep breath, enjoying this moment in the company of your friends, allowing yourself to receive all the ideas, the images of wealth that are right for you. And so you put inside of your mind a screen. It could be a television screen, it could be a mirror, it could be a magic mirror, it could be a water reflecting pool, a crystal ball, but there is something there through which you can see your definition of wealth. This is your definition of wealth. What does it mean for me to be wealthy? And sometimes for some people it could mean not worrying about how I'm going to accomplish things. Doesn't matter, but it's your definition. My definition of wealth. It might show up as an image, it might show up as a word, a feeling, but allow yourself to experience your definition of wealth. Now, I want you to move that aside, and we're going to step forward in this mental screen of space, and we're going to allow you to experience something wonderful. And it is the awareness of your own bank account. So I have a bank account, but this time I want you to imagine that you have several bank accounts. Let's just say you have 5 and counting. And now you can feel and you become aware of all of these bank accounts. And I want you to feel that they are all full and ever increasing. Feel that feeling of all these bank accounts that have your name on it, are in your possession, and that are ever increasing. And say to yourself, repeating the words after me in your mind, no matter what I do, it always just keeps growing. No matter what I do, it just keeps growing. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? It doesn't matter if you spend it on something you shouldn't spend it, or if you're investing or shopping or going groceries or paying bills. For some odd reason, magically, the money just keeps growing in your different accounts. Investment accounts, bank accounts, savings accounts, retirement accounts, gift account, whatever it is, you just keep becoming continually aware of how much it keeps growing. And I hate to tell you this, but you just can't make it stop. And it will never stop. And it just keeps growing to the point where you become aware, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to leave this to somebody after I pass away and go to spirit. I just have so much money. And then in this feeling, you become even more and more aware that, oh my gosh, I have so much money that I support small businesses and I support charities, and I see myself now with money in my hand, and I see it there, and I find myself shopping with ease, giving money with ease, supporting charities with ease, supporting small businesses, supporting people, and allowing that money to flow out from me, because strangely enough, I never seem to run out. It just keeps coming, and I just become so magnetically aware of the fact that I am a lightning rod for money. It just keeps following me no matter what I do. It's always there. And the more and more you are aware of this feeling and this fundamental fact of your own nature, that money is a part of your consciousness, ever increasing, ever becoming more aware of the money and the wealth and the abundance and the resources in various forms that you have, it becomes easier and easier to feel your way through life financially. That no matter what you do, for a better or for worse, you always seem to have an ever-increasing supply. And it's so curious, because you really just can't figure out why. But it becomes very, very clear, without even thinking, You become aware of it, that it is a part of your life force. It is part of the love and the infinite intelligence that flows through you. And now you finally realize that you have opened yourself up as a medium or a channel of wealth and abundance and financial means and resources. You have now opened the doors of your consciousness from the spirit side to the physical side, and it is now wide open. And what happens now, you finally realize, is that you've kicked down the door and it doesn't exist anymore, and it is forever open wide, like a beautiful arch, a beautiful doorway that allows wealth to flow through you. And as you become more and more aware, day after day, about how this door is open through you, that you are just delighted in the fact that you keep seeing it more and more in the world around you, and these opportunities that are ever growing for you to exercise your financial capacities. What a wonderful feeling that today, of all the days, you get to experience this gift. Take a deep breath and relax, and then open your eyes. So that's the kind of psychology that we're talking about. And the interesting thing is, talk about knowing exactly what you want. Sometimes it's just so fun, you know. I have some clients that are so rich, they're just like, I don't know where the money comes from. It's just always growing, because odds are they've inherited it or they've invested it, and then the money just keeps going and coming, and no matter what you do, you just keep having it, and it doesn't really matter what you do. You just can't outspend yourself. And that there is no limitation in God's economy. And it's true. In man's economy, there is limitation. There is resource hoarding. There are the haves and the have-nots and the 1% and the 99%. Oh, of course, in that world, oh yeah, that's real, because it's a finite world. But we don't live in that world anymore. We live in the infinite world, where there's infinite resources. And we all know this. There's infinite intelligence. So the goal of this is not just for me to tell you this and you to experience it, but you to become so cognizant of it and its awareness that you fully understand the nature of money and wealth, and that you teach other people to do the same. Because we can't outspend ourselves, and we can't have, you know, and honestly, some people just, we don't want all the money in the world. We don't want to be Jeff Bezos. My kids call him Jeff Bagel. But we want to get to this point where we don't live in man's economy, because guess what? It's not a fair place. You know that. By the color of our skin determines how much money we have based on the capital markets, the banking, and the federal laws. We know these things. But in God's economy, we're all equal. We all have the access because we're God's children and we're inheritors of the kingdom. And it's time for us to open our arms and receive it, because it's part of our responsibility. It's part of our responsibility to manage the wealth that has been afforded to us as inheritors. So I want you to start practicing more and more the mental imagery, but we're going to take it a step further, because a lot of the times when it comes to your definition of wealth, and I hope you saw it on your screen of space, what that was, is a lot of the times people say, I just need more money. Well, it's so funny, because my husband used to say, well, if I had $30,000 in the bank account, then I would feel comfortable. And then we did, and the feeling still didn't change. You see what I mean? So it's about, first, the mental imaging and the feeling, your relationship with money, and then getting to the point of knowing exactly what you want, because you always get it. That's a fact. So are you desiring more for yourself? And I don't say desiring as a state of longing that something's outside of you, but are you feeling and experiencing all that is available to you? Are you allowing yourself to go there and to get in touch with that internally? So that's the goal of getting in touch with and knowing exactly what you want, because what you want, for example, what I want is to be here and work with you guys and go to the ARE and have these fun experiences. Can money really buy that? Yeah, of course, I could book the ticket, but look how much more enriching this is for all of us. That's my metric of success. So it's going to appear for you in your own unique way. So we're not here to judge each other, go, oh, you only have $100,000 in a bank account. That's irrelevant. It might be, you know, horses, or it might be, you know, cats, or it might be just having a church pool party, and that's the dream. So I want you to get in touch with the dream and get in touch with the things that you truly desire, that are within you, that are wanting to come out and to be expressed through you in the physical world. And if it's money, yeah, sure, okay. have that image there and experience it. Go into the end. So this is how the world typically views money. Hopefully you can see this. So the world usually says this, and this is how clients have come to me. I want something, right? I want $100,000 in my bank account. I want a new home. I want a car. I want to go on a vacation, etc. And they think, oh gosh, how do I have to earn that? That's what we do. And so we're like, oh, I should have a business plan and create a multi-channel funnel strategy and get conversion, or go get a job and work hard. Well, we've seen that in the world of man, working hard ain't going to get you very much, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. So we think we want something, we've been told we have to earn it, deserve it, merit it. And then we go, okay, now you can get the money. And then now you can finally go get it. So there's this like multi-step approach, and we drive ourselves mad figuring out how to just get what we want. That's the paradigm. But we don't want to be in that paradigm. We want to be in the spirit paradigm, which is what we have just done is to construct the scene. You close your eyes, just like you did the concept of the self, just as we have just done in this activity, is you construct the scene of exactly what you want. It's so funny because a month or two ago, I actually did a blog post on the ARE and the tour of the ARE. And I did, just kind of telling people about it because I do a lot of speaking stuff about the KC materials. And I'm a super fan. And I remember saying to myself and thinking in my head, oh, it sure would be great to go back and get more footage so I could do a longer video. And then here I am. I mean, that's so cool. And so that's the kind of thing we're talking about, is just knowing exactly what you want and constructing that scene. And every day having that dialogue from within yourself of identifying it. What a joy, instead of trying to constantly figure this out. Just go and do this work, interior work, and form it within your consciousness. Your imagining does create reality. And what you do is you actually plant the seed deep from within your subconscious mind, and you're sending that out to the universe and to the connection within all of us so everybody can play their part. I didn't say to Terry or Pam or anybody, could you buy me a plane ticket so I can come to the ARE? I didn't do that. I didn't come up with like a massive business plan to figure out how I could get here. I didn't go online. I didn't even go online and check for plane tickets. I thought, well, if I go, I'll go for a reason and I'll have a good purpose for it. So I want you to just take the pressure off yourself instead of thinking, how am I going to earn this? Because believe me, you'll walk the bridge of incidences. You'll walk the unique fun path to experience that. You'll get there. But it really is learning to discipline your mental faculties, your imaginative faculties, to really truly knowing what is right for you and what your heart truly desires. And honestly, what your heart truly desires is what God wants to give you. It's saying, God's knocking at the door of your consciousness, let me in. Receive it. God wouldn't have put it in your heart unless it wasn't a gift. So it's up for us to receive. So when we do this activity, we're actually planting the seed. And it's the seed time, then you get the harvest. And then what you're doing is you're actually grabbing the feeling, the mood, the feeling of that wish fulfilled. So it's a psychological, dramatic process to grabbing the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And then I want you to name it. Name the feeling. So if you have this feeling like a puppy licking your face, joy, it might be that, right? I want a puppy, right? But I don't know how I'm going to get this puppy. I don't have the money. Or a child saying, I want a bike. I taught my kids how to do this. Yes, I taught them how to do chores and muck at the barn and understand the value of our labor and contributing and, these kinds of things, which is a part of this process, to understand having a work ethic, but not to slave labor in vain. I teach my kids how to do this, and they get what they want all the time through the most magical ways. And sometimes I say, oh, they want Robux or whatever, and I'm like, please, God, and then they get it. And I'm like, ah. Because it's not between me and them, it's between them and God, right? So we're teaching our children, we're teaching ourselves, we're teaching our clients how to actually receive. And it is the spiritual, imaginative, mental faculty of reception. And learning how to grab that feeling and capture it, and then you just let it go, because it will do its thing. Specifically, spirit does it. Spirit takes it. But it is to the point where you feel that satisfaction because you've already experienced it in consciousness. And then you experience it again in three-dimensional realm. So this is, the financial approach. Believe me, I could teach you about international economics, I could teach you about like banking, and I could teach you all these things in investing, but that's not what we're really here for. It's learning how to have this wonderful foundation that will then lead us into this place where we feel comfortable about going to the accountant. We feel comfortable about, well, what's this account? Well, what is Bitcoin? Whatever. Maybe I need to take a financial course. To not feel so intimidated by these concepts of money and receiving and wealth. So, before we get to the financial satisfaction survey, I want to hear some of your questions about being a practitioner and receiving money, because I kind of want to hear it from you guys. And it might not be your question, it might be questions that you've heard other people ask, so that we just kind of tackle them a little bit together before we do these last two activities. So if you can, if anyone wants to take a picture of this, I can move it closer to you. Otherwise, you've already written it. Yeah? We're good? So think about some issues or questions about money people have with receiving, in terms of being an intuitive healer, practitioner, or even the things that people say that you have heard about that. Like I heard earlier somebody said, well, how do you know what to charge, right?
Yeah, I struggled with it a long time ago where, it's like I just wanted donations, but that's kind of idealistic.
Mm-hmm.
And finally just kind of got over it, but I think, you'll hear people say, well, it's a gift from God, you should charge for using your gift.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a great way to guilt you.
I know, and it's like, well, what do you do for a living? I'm a teacher. Well, isn't that a gift from God? You're getting paid
Mm-hmm.
to use your teaching gift. In fact, in the Bible it says people have the gift of teaching. Specifically, it doesn't say they have the psychic gift. But, so yeah, the gift from God. You hear that a lot from people. Mm-hmm. How dare you charge for healing? You're not doing the healing anyway. It's God doing the healing. Well, I'm God's banker, so.
Yeah, you do a hour and a half Reiki session, and if you only ask for love donation, you'll get $10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
Well,
Not much love, is that?
the one thing, if you want to quote biblically, it's about that people don't honor. It's actually a Bible verse that they do, and the way they say it, I'm not quoting it just like it is, but that there has to be some kind of energy exchange.
equal energy exchange.
And because people don't value it.
Yeah.
They
people
won't.
don't
There's
value
no
it. Yeah, I
value.
found that if you don't charge enough or
Right.
whatever, they just.
It's not about charging enough, it's about there has to be an energy exchange of something.
In the
Right.
in the Usui Reiki history, he gave Reiki to the beggars, and he would heal them, and a month or two later they would be back again in the same shape that they were in, because it was free. They did not value the healing that they received.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Anything else that anyone want to contribute?
Comparisons.
In what way?
So, in the field that we're in, if we're working as mediums or psychics or healers, individuals have varying degrees of prices for what they do, and the quality of their work depends really solely on whether they are legitimate, authentic, beginners,
Credentials.
credentialed or not
Credentials.
credentialed, and so so-and-so gave me a half hour for this much, why are you charging me
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
much?
Just comparison.
Comparisons in quality of what you're receiving.
Okay. No one else? We've got a good start here. Ego.
Ego, my ego.
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen here, and we've all have seen, that we've gotten to the point in all of our practitioner career, even in our career, where we don't see the value in of ourselves. But also the question is how comfortable are you with receiving large amounts of money gracefully? Like a lot of money.
I would be.
You would be?
I would be.
Are you now?
No, I've never received large.
But yes, you're ready to change. Yeah.
Willing to try, right?
Fair, I had a
Willing to do it now.
family that came in for grieving, they were really grieving, really. I mean, y'all saw them come in, they were like grieving. There was 3 of them. They had lost a sister or a daughter. And so I was like, this is big, I'm going to have to, because it just happened. Well, as I was giving them the reading and everything, I just said, hey, listen, I need some help here because this is big, this is heavy. So, but then the guy gave me a $50 tip. Years ago, I would have said, oh, no, don't do that. No, I didn't. I put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You got to learn how to receive large amounts of money with a smile on your face. Because I can tell you what, having coached in the venture capital world, these people, white people, I hate to tell you, but it's the white people that own venture capital firms. They are just very much used to having all the money. Very much so. So it's the point where I coached women in venture capital, and we'd have panels, and they themselves would talk about how these men are just like, well, they're just used to it. It's their world. They get $176 million, or $10 million, or $9 million. That's their world. Why is it not our world? Just because we have intuitive abilities, that we got to be X-Men, so we're just like outcasts of society and we can't have money? That's so absurd. Where did we get that idea? Why? Because of religious shaming, spiritual community shaming, toxic spirituality, people who are skeptics and don't understand, and they say that we're charlatans and that we're just phony balonies, and that society finds no real use or meaning in our work. That is a bunch of BS. That is a bunch of BS. So we have to change that script and change that feeling that no, just because I exhibit these abilities and faculties doesn't mean that I'm entitled to less money. That's ridiculous. So it is standing on that first, on our business, and saying like, yeah, these are the things I'm hearing people say, but this is completely irrelevant to the value that I offer. But again, it also goes back to, if you weren't getting paid, would you do it for free? And you have to be comfortable with doing it for free, for sure. But the thing is, and the big but is that we have bills to pay. Electricity bills and all these things are ever increasing, and we have to be conscious of this because we're living a very human life. So, going back to knowing exactly what you want. And it goes to the thing. I'm going to give you a Post-it note. I want you to write down on this card, and we're going to do this even more with the surveys, but it's the type of client that you want to receive. Like, kind of draw a picture, write some words, just the type of client that you want to receive, their economic background, maybe their profession, I don't know, whatever. And then I want you to have that ideal visual mental construction, and then I want you to construct in your mind the image of these people multiplied, just giving you money and offering you, hey, I would, one of my favorite things is the vacations that people offer me. That's my favorite because I love to travel. And people will be, hey, you want to go on a Royal Caribbean cruise to the Bahamas? Yeah, I'll pay for your flight. I'll give you shopping money. I'll give you my credit card. Put it on my room number. I freaking love that. That's what I enjoy. It might not be what you enjoy, but I want you to imagine this type of person and these types of experiences and these types of clients coming into your world, and then close your eyes and construct a scene of them coming in and just that natural feeling. That's just so easy. Of course we're going to give you this. Of course you have that value. So do that now. A couple of minutes. That's money calling.
That's money calling.
Okay. Write those words down. I'm going to come around and check your work. Okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. You still ruminating? Oh, see, that's your work right there. That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, I love that. It's okay. It's okay. This is the work. This is exactly what we're supposed to do. Okay. So I'm going to show you mine. I'm going to tell you mine and tell you how I did it, and then you're going to have yours, and then I'm going to walk you through the exercise, okay? So don't stress if you don't have it. So I used to have, when I first started my career, I charged $25 for half an hour, $99 for a resume, and I would work like 8 hours on a resume. So imagine 99 divided by 8, okay? So I know what it's like to work for peanuts, especially during the recession when you're swimming in credit card debt and barely can afford your mortgage. Believe me, I've been there. And the thing is that I eventually realized, I was like, I got to get a whole new set of clients. I was like, I got to do something about this. So I went inside my mind and I started to change my conception of my client. So this was what my client list was. Famous, talented, curious about spirit, want to learn, wealthy, sent by spirit, and easy. Those were the qualities of my clientele. These are the people that I work with. And even if they don't have millions of dollars, wealthy is that they're very comfortable with providing me for the things that my heart desires. So again, definition of wealth. But here, that was the vision of my clientele. These are the only people that I really work with, really. And it's not me being discriminatory. These are the only people who can handle the energy that I have to offer. Yeah, what, girl?
I'm open to positive abundance of that kind of energy.
Take it. Because you have, like, who's ready to receive your energy?
Come on, Oprah.
Who's ready to receive your vibe? Which obviously, if they are this, then am I not also that? If they are this, am I not also that? If they are this, am I not also that? Your clients are a reflection of you, unfortunately. And I've had difficult clients, and they have taught me so much about myself. This world is a learning world. But I'm telling you, once you have a list and a very specific list of clients, and I'm not saying on your website, are you famous, talented, and curious about spirit? Want to learn more? Are you wealthy? And are you sent by spirit? And are you easy? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you have this internal list inside your head. Yeah, the back of the website and the hidden page, subscription only.
You're not famous, come here.
So these are the types of people that I subconsciously created for myself because I knew that I could make my ends meet. And then I also had, I had people in the earliest part of my career coaching. I did Microsoft and I did all the people and the engineers and all the cool stuff. But towards the end of my career, it was this. And the craziest thing is I don't advertise. I do podcast interviews and videos for fun. I write my blog because I enjoy it. It's my energizer. And it's the door that connects me to other people because we have shared mutual interests. But honestly, it's all word of mouth. It's people talking about me. And so that's the same that's going to happen with you as you've experienced today in the branding and your value proposition and all the things that you're doing is that you're aligning yourself with people just like you. So if you find yourself saying, my clientele is not what I want, then it's time to reimagine them. So take just a little minute. If you've already done it, close your eyes. And if you haven't written it down, that's okay. Just follow along with us. Close your eyes. And imagine your ideal client, the types of people that you would enjoy working with. And it might not be an image, it just might be a feeling. It might be an age group. It might be from a certain professional environment. But imagine your ideal client, and these are more and more, because the more you focus on it, the more you magnify it, the more you multiply it, and focus on this type of person that brings you joy, that collaborates with you, that laughs with you, that loves with you, that supports with you, and they give you what you give out. And this is a perfect match made in heaven. You don't have to work with everybody. That's the whole point of a free market. You only have to work with the people who resonate with you. So it might not be the uber wealthy. It might just be children, and oddly enough, they're supported by a nonprofit who can afford you. It doesn't really matter the how.
How about just people that want to, that don't mind spending money on themselves for healing or good work?
Yeah, quite simply. Yeah. They carry that psychology. Yeah, that
There's
energy.
people that will spend money on a doctor giving them medication that they don't even know what's in the medication, but they won't come and get healing or whatever. So it's really about manifesting those people that do care about their health or do care about what your service is.
Absolutely.
They don't mind spending the money on it.
They see the value in that. Yeah. So you've taken a minute to see that. You've taken a minute to receive that. And what I've taught you is two different kinds of things used in the same practical framework. Is one of them is how do I manifest the things that I want, regardless of the how and the earning. But also, you're in this life and we're all in it together. You are the type of person I like to work with. You know what I mean? You might not be the richest person on the planet, but God Almighty, you're rich in heart and spirit. And how lucky am I that I get to work with you? Honestly, really and truly, my heart cries out for that. And so this is where we get to empower each other. This is where, for me, this is my work, and this is what I get to do naturally, and I do it for free, and I do it all the time. And that's where I want you guys to be as well. But hey, it doesn't hurt to live in a mansion, and I have a luxury car, and I have a hot pool boy husband, and jewelry, and a giant walk-in closet, and, money. Like, I have all those things, and they're great, but like I said, I feel like $1 million. And that's really what I want you to express, is that I feel like $1 million. And it's true. It's really true. So whatever your version of wealth is, might be on a barn somewhere, or a cabin on a lake, or on a beach house, take it. It's yours. It belongs to you, fortunately, because I don't want the same thing as you, and that's how it works.